on Tuesday. Will Selva out in the newsroom in Culver City. Take it away, Will.
All right, thank you, Kate. Guys, appreciate that. If you were hoping to see Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz back on the practice field for OTAs, you would be in luck. Wentz is expected to be there today for the first day of OTAs. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport is reporting Wentz will have no limitations for on-field drills. According to Ian, the team will be smart and monitor his movements. Rap sheet adds Wentz is expected to get the majority of work under center, a back injury, of course, wiping out the final 3 games of his season in 2018. Meanwhile, Reuben Foster's season appears to be over before it even began. The Rap Sheet also reporting the Redskins linebacker is believed to have suffered a torn ACL in his left knee. Ian calling the injury major and significant. Foster will see specialists to see what the extent of the injury is. He was carted off the field with an air cast on his leg. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott detained by police this past weekend in Las Vegas, but was not arrested during the Electric Daisy Carnival event. Elliott caught on camera knocking over a member of the event staff, but his attorney says it was a non-incident and he left Vegas on Sunday for his youth football camp. And the Giants opening OTAs on Monday as head coach Pat Shurmur reiterated that Eli Manning will be the team starter in 2019. Rookie Daniel Jones will battle for the backup role. Much has been made about veteran QBs and their role as a mentor to young QBs, a job Manning says he has no problem filling.
You've been in the league longer than any other guy in the quarterback room. You should be a mentor in that sense, where you know a little bit more. You can be helpful, and again, it's not necessarily your job to do it. It's your job. I think that, like I said, hey, you're in the quarterback room, and with all, if all the quarterbacks in there, then you're talking and you're helping out, and everybody's kind of mentoring everybody. If certain guys aren't in there, then they can't be mentored. So it's a little bit on Daniel, just kind of being in there, listening and asking questions, and everybody willing to help out in those situations.
Now, Shurmur had said that both of them are professionals and that there is no tension between them. He also added that Jones needs to be ready to play Week 1. And he said that a few times in his press conference. So needless to say, that is one of those storylines that we'll be monitoring as training camp approaches.
Yeah, I sort of look at the NFL sometimes like Real Housewives. Hear me out. Oh. They all have good storylines, all the divisions, but New York is zany. There are so many different layers. So in the NFC East, Nate, what is the most intriguing storyline to you?
Let's stick with the New York Giants. I'm going with the Giants being successful without their superstars. Olivier Vernon stands out, Landon Collins, but of course, for me, it's Odell Beckham. And I know there's arguments that could be made here at this table, at the barber shop, at the water cooler. Well, they weren't good with Odell. Well, they weren't good with Olivier and Landon Collins and all of these superstars you keep naming, Nate. That's fine. But these were their star players. Now, all of a sudden, you bring in different individuals, some that might not even play this year, Daniel Jones, and other individuals that just aren't the same type of quality of players as Landon Collins, OBJ, and Olivier Vernon. So for me, it's the New York Giants. What are they going to be? Because they could be special, and I could be sitting there eating every word that I'm spouting out. Or they could struggle Week 1 and try to find their personality and try to find their character, try to find their identity, and that'd be the problem all season. We're going to see.
On paper, the Dallas Cowboys are loaded this year. They have so much talent on the roster, both on offense and on defense. But we spent weeks during the Combine period and after the Combine debating DeMarcus Lawrence's contract. Just wait till the rest of the offseason now, where we have Dak Prescott's contract being up, Amari Cooper's contract being up, Jalen Smith's contract being up. Oh, yeah, Jason Witten's on a 1-year deal. What if he wants to get another? And then Zeke Elliott after that. So to me, it's the Cowboys are beautiful on paper. The Cowboys are going to be wonderful on your fantasy team. How is that going to go with the front office and in the locker room? Already, Stephen Jones had a one-line throwaway comment that upset people in the Dallas Cowboys roster when he said maybe these guys should consider the other value of being a Cowboy when they negotiate their contract and how much more money they can make with their branding and all that.
Very slick.
That's a very, very dangerous territory to start dancing on when you haven't come to deals with these guys. I know Dak's going to be the headline. Jalen Smith's a really good linebacker. Amari Cooper's a really good linebacker. And these guys all have their agents, and they all have pride. I don't think any of them want to take $1 less than they think they've earned. Cowboys have to be very delicate with how they handle all these contracts coming out.
I agree.
Hell, that might be the one. Andy Cohen sitting with all those Cowboys. I mean, that would be the one I'd want to see.
Chopping it up. Kelly Ripa shows up.
Dak Prescott as Ramona.
I'll give you some names of NFC East quarterbacks, and they all have something in common. Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, even Kellen Moore is a coordinator now. All of those people have been talked about more on this show and many others than Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is real fascinating this year because the fear with the injury and the back, and we'll have the report about him in OTAs, the fear is he is destined for what I would call Grant Hill territory or Ken Griffey Jr. territory.
Jake Locker.
Sure. Prolific talents who deal with injuries over and over. Guys, the Eagles are ready. They are loaded for bear. What were their problems last year? Couldn't run the ball. They get Miles Sanders. Didn't have a deep threat. They get Deshaun Jackson. This is a full Super Bowl Howie Roseman roster, but there's one big difference. There ain't no Nick Foles in town. This is the Carson Wentz show. Now, maybe that's good. Yeah. They don't have the great class in case of emergency, but they also don't have the folk hero in the next locker whose teammates make a damn shrine for him when you get hurt. This is the Carson show. Apparently, he's ready. He's on the field. He's exercising. Doug Peterson's ready, says he's ready to go. Guys, this is a huge year. My question is, can Carson Wentz win the MVP this year? And that sounds nuts, and that sounds May 20th or whatever it is, hot take. BS. He was going to win that thing 2 years ago. He has the game, he has the weapons, and I think he has the health. Watch number 11, the NFC East. He could turn the whole tide.
And from the air to the ground game in the NFC East is riveting on every team. You've got Darius Geis coming back from injury. You've got the OG, Adrian Peterson there. Zeke we're going to leave that alone. Sure. But I want to talk about what's going on with the Giants and the Redskins because there is a Penn State situation that's really intriguing to me that I'm keeping my eye on. We, of course, know Saquon, Offensive Rookie of the Year, at Penn State, crushed it, and Miles Sanders took his spot. And Miles Sanders was on our show, and we even asked him before he was drafted what his goals were for the season. Take a look.
Well, that was just one of my main goals, really, to focus on this past year, just to make a name for myself. And I understand Saquon's great. I mean, he's the #2 overall pick last year, but I'm my own player, too, and I feel like I could do almost probably the same thing as him or even better. So that's why I just feel like that was my main goal this past season.
This is before he was drafted to the Eagles, and he did do pretty much what Saquon did, really, in his last year at Penn State. He had close to 1,300 yards. He had a ton of touchdowns, and he was awesome. Then he gets drafted in the second round, and Saquon's asked about it. He comes out and he says, I think this is the best running back in the draft. So now we're bringing in the layer of Josh Jacobs out there. The first-round running back was probably going to feel a little bit of that heat. The fact that these two get to face each other twice a year, the fact that they face each other for the first time way back in Week 14, twice in the last handful of games of the season, is great. And I'm adding on to that the fact that Miles Sanders couldn't wear 24 because Jordan Howard took that jersey number and is going to rock the 26, the same number as Saquon Barkley in the same division. I think this will be a really healthy rivalry. It'll be like when you go to the bar with your buddy and play Pop-A-Shot and you're sort of cheering each other on, looking at the scoreboard, seeing how many yards you guys pile up throughout the season, and especially in those pivotal games, Week 14 and on. I'm excited about this.
They're playing Golden Tee, Penn State style.
Yeah, but they're like cheering each other on. It's like a reverse rivalry that I'm into.
And there's such a fraternity. It's like Kijana Carter and Curtis Enis and Blair Thomas, like all of those. It's kind of RBU, and I know that's shots fired for Ohio State. He said I like it.
He can do everything Saquon
or
does.
Better?
Or better. Miles.
Saquon's highlights are so stupid.
Saquon's pretty good, man.
What do you mean?
Saquon's pretty darn good.
Let Miles do him.
Okay.
Let Miles do him.
Don't you love that about Miles? That he's not, with the way he's handling always being asked about Saquon, even on our show. There's something really cool about that, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that competitive
way
nature.
you can do it.
That's the way you're supposed to approach it.
Love it. Antonio Brown. Is he approaching things the right way?
Yeah, just simple. Two-word tweet. Simple two-word tweet.
Right.
What else you want him to do?
Plausible deniability from that tweet. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, Nate.
Kept it simple, stupid.
Put anybody's name on it.
He could be talking about anything.
Ben Roethlisberger apologizing so much to break
Talking about
down.
Batman movie.
And who won the rookie premiere photo? Kyle, you got takes?
I got all kinds of thoughts. Who looked cool in the picture? Who looked like their eyes were closed?
DK.
DK always looks
Why
good.
is Jonathan Abrams throwing football? Teammate, okay.
Running back pass.